Hey, Kathleen here. So I haven't seen you since 3 months, and now I'm almost at my 6 month mark. So I'm just coming on here to kind of share with you what I've experienced over the past 6 months that might be helpful to you. And some of it you won't go through, some of it isn't relevant, some of it maybe. So let me see if this can help you in any way. I did write down the top 8 things, obviously it's a virtual background, top 8 things that I wanted to share. And so I will be looking down at this on occasion. So just FYI, I had my surgery January 13th of 2026 this year. 61 years old, Lefort 1 piece. So I did not get expansion done during surgery because I had Marpe expansion last year. I had a septoplasty at the same time as the double jaw surgery, and I had cheekbones put in. So slits done inside, cheekbones shoved in because when they pulled everything forward, he said I was going to be flat faced. Um, so that's what I had done. So number one, okay, prep before surgery. One thing that I heard from my orthodontist week 1 after my surgery, she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're doing so well. Did you eat clean before surgery?" And I said, "Yeah." Um, she said, "I really think that's what's really helping you do as well as you're doing." I was like, "Okay." So she had had double jaw surgery 20 years prior, but I do eat clean. I have for over a decade because I'm gluten free because I get like all congested if I eat gluten. I'm I watch my sugar because that also affects me. I watch my alcohol because that affects me. So I do eat clean. I do eat organic. I do the best that I can. Um, and so healthy eating, clean drinking, supplements, that kind of thing. I did that prior. Sounds like that could really help. In fact, she said some surgeons request that people eat clean for 2 weeks prior to surgery. And it's not easy to eat clean and like I remember when I started eating clean, how hard it was to kind of like convert. So anyway, that's what she said. All right, the second thing is at the beginning, there's going to be annoying things like the drooling, the liquid diet, the sleeping upright. You'll get through it. In fact, I can't even remember like how long it lasted, all that kind of stuff. So bear with it. Just try to get a lot of hugs from people. Keep your nervous system healthy, and you'll get through those things. I think drooling, I had those adult bibs on for 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I can't even remember, but a long time. And in fact, I still drool a little bit. Liquid diet, I will say, really try to do some prep ahead of time. I did whole meals, blended them, added extra bone broth, things like that. Put them in little ice cube, the bigger ice cube trays, and saved all those things off into my freezer so that when I was hungry, I had food. And it was real food. It was food that I didn't have to now make on the stove and whatever. I could just take that, heat that up. It was more like soup at that point, but it had meat in it, had vegetables. It had good stuff in it. I would recommend that. I did a video on that. I'll link that here as well. So reducing swelling, that's a big thing, right? A lot of people have really swelling. I did not swell like some people swell. I also had the doctor gave me some kind of swelling medication, which I really didn't want to take, but I knew otherwise my face might blow up and could be problems with that. So I did take I can't even remember what it was, the swelling medication for like 2 weeks. So that helped. But walking, huge, so easy to do. Walk, 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 because your lymphatic system only operates when you manually pump. And when you manually pump, it can circulate the lymph and or doing, lymphatic massages. I stood on a vibration plate, red light therapy. There's just a lot of things you can do. I did do a video on this, so I'll link that. But try to help try to yourself keep your swelling down. Okay, exercises. So 1 week after surgery, the nurse said to me, "How are your side to sides going?" And I'm like, "I haven't been doing no one said anything about side to sides." She's like, "Okay, no problem. Start your side to sides now." And so I did. And then when I went in, I don't know, maybe for my 3 week checkup, I can't remember whether it was the 3 week or the 5 week or what. Then I started moving on to the pucker smiles. And he actually went like this, but he never said sniff. He only said, pucker, smile. So he did this extra thing that, come to find out, I think I should have been doing all along. But it was months later that my myofunctional therapist said, have you been doing the sniff? And I'm like, no. I mean, I'm talking about, I think I just heard this from her a month ago. And so I had all those months where I could be doing this because remember, you're trying to get these muscles reworking, and I only was doing the pucker smile. So my advice would be ask your surgeon to really tell you what they want you to do. Write it down. I wish they had a sheet with pictures, diagrams, do these things, but it was verbal. Um, I think it could have been handled a little better. So I had to do and then, which I wasn't doing, the sniff. And then the tongue depressors, right? Building up the number of tongue depressors over and over time. I ended up stopping those a month ago, and I'll tell you why, but as I get further in here, do your exercises. You're supposed to be doing these things 3 times a day. Really, really, really can help you. If you're having extreme pain or TMJ issues and things like that, definitely contact your surgeon, of course. But do your exercises. I feel like I missed the boat on some things that I wish I hadn't. The next thing is my biggest issues. Okay, so for me, really for anybody probably, but because you had the surgery, you pulled this forward, septoplasty. Now you're breathing in air and it's hitting a different part of the back of your throat than it did before. That's not used to the air. So for me, I was drying out in an area that had to figure out like what was going on. And I would wake up in the middle of the night panicked because my throat was dry and my mouth because my mouth was now open because of the surgery. And I would be panicked and like I one time jerked my mouth open. I had my elastics on and I was freaking out like, did I just damage things? So this was a struggle for many weeks. And I finally landed on mouth tape and Xylamelts. Okay, I did a whole video on it. I'll link the video. Really has helped me. I'm still using one Xylamelt at night and I'm using something called NextCare tape on my mouth. So I'll link those. So helpful for me. Definitely check with your doctor because I think if you have high blood pressure or if you've got still have sleep apnea, you may not want to be doing the mouth tape. But for me, it's still working great. I'm hoping that over time, as my body kind of knows what it's doing, I can be done with the mouth tape at some point and breathe, have my mouth closed at night. But for now, it's helping me keep my mouth closed at night. Okay, the sixth thing, your support team. So you've got your chiropractor, you've got your orthodontist. For me, I have sorry, not your chiropractor. You have your surgeon, you have your orthodontist. For me, I've had a chiropractor for like 30 years because of hypermobility syndrome. So I've been going to a chiropractor every 4 weeks or so, like for 30 years. So, man, I could not live without my chiropractor. And I say to him, if you ever move, let me know beforehand as you're starting to look, because I am going to move with you. He not only, does my body, which needs it, but he has done stuff with my TMJ. He's done intraoral with a glove, intraoral massage, the masseters. I mean, he's done all kinds of things to help me. So I swear by a chiropractor. Okay. I also have a myofunctional therapist. I had a tongue tie release last year. I had palate, my bony growth, that's called tori, removed from my palate last year in March of 2025. So that was my journey of starting with myofunctional therapy. And I see her every like 6 weeks. She gives me exercises to do. Really, really helpful. And now I'm going to see an acupuncturist because this is number 6. At 3 months, when I went into my 3-month checkup, like a couple days prior, all of a sudden my gums, like down low, were so tight. They were starting to really tighten up. And I'm like, what is going on? Everything was fine. But now my gums, and they're still tight, but they're not as tight as they were at 3 months. But we're talking, this has been going on for 3 months, starting at 3 months. Now I'm almost at 6. And eventually it got to where it felt like they were saran wrapped tight and they wouldn't move. I mean, I still hope I get this tight feeling down here gone. I don't know if I ever will. So this chin is pretty much done with being numb. This is a little bit numb, and this is a little bit numb. The numbness is really going away. It's this tightness in the gums that I don't know why, but it's gotten a little bit better, but not a lot. But I started going to acupuncture maybe a month, no, more than a month ago, a couple months ago. So I'm getting needles in the face. I have a bruise here from one of them, hands and feet. And he's trying to like get this to loosen up. Do I think that it's working? I have no idea. Could it just be time? It could just be time. I really don't know. I mean, I do notice some little things from the acupuncture, but I'm ready to stop paying for it because it's expensive. Um, but back to the support team. All these specialties have their lane, including your surgeon. Your surgeon doesn't know necessarily about acupuncture. They don't know about chiropractic. They don't know. So if you say, "Can I go to my chiropractor?" They may say, as long as they don't do anything with your jaw, that's fine. Anyway, you do need to check with your surgeon as to when you can be released to go to these different specialties. But they don't have they don't know all these specialties. So we can't expect them to know, like, will acupuncture help? They don't know. They do think red light, he did say red light therapy would help. So ask your orthodontist, different things, your chiropractor, your surgeon, and they may or may not be able to give you the answer to that thing because it may be from a different specialty. Just be aware that they're not going to be the end all be all for everything. And then the last thing is, at 4.5 months post-op, I had my braces taken off. Oh my gosh, I was so grateful for that because man, they were cutting up my teeth, although they did start putting on some permanent wax and that really helped. But you know, the food getting caught, all this kind of stuff. Oh my gosh. And now I have been in a retainer for 6 weeks, waiting for my actual Invisalign to be delivered. It's actually a different company. It's not Invisalign, but something like that. My aligners to be delivered so that I can continue with the alignment. And that's going to now push me into the end of the year. Instead of being done like in October, it's probably going to be December or January. But okay. So that day when I got the braces taken off, I went to the dentist for my cleaning, my x-rays, and then for the dentist to check things out. So he's checking out the x-rays and his eyes go like this. And I'm thinking, oh, shoot, I probably have a cavity. And he's like, you don't have any cavities, but I'm seeing shadows on 5 of roots of 5 different teeth. Now that's usually indicative of, oh, you need a root canal, or I'm going to send you to an endodontist to see what they say. And everybody's like, but it's on 5 teeth. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So we sent the x-rays over to the ortho and to the surgeon and got a response back from the surgeon saying, that's where the tads were from the surgery, which are the little metal posts that you may or may not have had, and that I was wrapping elastics on those. But he said, so I might have scuffed them, either putting them in or taking them out, scuffed the roots of your teeth. So he said, I think it's fine. I think it's fine, but that's what it is. So he had said to me a couple weeks earlier that one of his patients had gone and gotten a root canal and they didn't really need it. So when my dentist said, well, I still want to send these over to the endodontist, I said, you know what? Let's wait 6 months. We'll do x-rays again. We'll see from now. We'll see from then. And then see what the endodontist says. I don't want to go too soon to the endodontist and have them say, oh, you need a root canal when you don't really need it. So, okay. So that's it. My 6-month checkup is next week. You guys take care.